Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
That's a loaded question this week.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it was a loaded question last week, too, but I was at the, start of feeling like shit, and now I genuinely feel like shit, and it's caught up to me.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'll get through it. I feel like shit all the time anyway, so what else is new?
Yeah, we'll make it together.
Yeah, that's what our governor says when he does the coronavirus thing every day. He's like, we'll get through this together. And they're like, no, we won't.
So
the Republicans are going to let us all die.
So is this different from how you normally feel like crap, or is it the usual thing?
This is compounded on top of feeling like normal general crap.
You know what we should do? We should go up on WebMD and try to diagnose you.
Yeah. It said I had pancreatic cancer, so I guess that's not right.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty sure that's not the problem. And the other problem it listed was something I've already been diagnosed with, so I was like, well, it's just my body doing what it does.
Nice.
But yeah.
How's everyone else doing? Aki's here, Jacob's here. How's everyone?
I was about to say, everyone else, we didn't tell them there was anybody else.
Well, Jacob just started talking, so it threw me off.
Jacob ran his mouth, yeah.
Well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to talk.
How standard issue for Jacob to just fuck up the rotation. All right, that was the
How dare
extent
he.
of my energy for the show. Good luck, guys. Bye.
Yeah, how is everyone? Aki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm busy, but good.
In what ways are you busy?
I'm reviewing 4 games right now.
You poor soul. 4 whole games. Tell me about this tragedy.
Well,
Jeez.
Not everyone only plays, the fucking little I can beat the fucking game in an hour type games, and therefore is loaded with a dozen of them. Fuck off.
Yeah, because Cole never covers big games.
I know, right?
Never.
Never.
I never take roguelikes that I put 60 hours a week into. That would be ridiculous.
Never. Never. Anyway, a lot of news this week. We might as well get to the news since everyone's just kind of hemming and hawing with talking.
I don't think we've asked how I'm doing.
Well, then,
we don't care.
Dang, that is standard SML.
Fine. How are you doing, Jacob?
Well, no, now I don't want to talk about it.
Fine.
Okay,
it's been a PlayStation. You had your chance. You said no.
In case the viewers care, I'm doing fine.
I didn't ask.
And I said the viewer. Oh, right, yeah. That's right. You are the only viewer.
No, you watch the show too.
It's true, I do.
Yeah.
I occasionally hop in on Twitch, but mostly I listen to it on YouTube when I'm doing the tweets.
Yeah, you're why we have more than one view on YouTube.
Yay.
Good stuff.
Although now I'm able to do the tweets and Facebook on the same day most days. Now you're not getting double the views.
Oh, yeah. 2.
Yeah.
0 times 2 is still 0.
No, we have 1 view because I watch it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
And then I watch it. Usually on mute, but
No.
Fun fact, sometimes I will leave my computer up when I go to bed and I will run the show so that it counts as a view with full runtime.
Oh, thank you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Nobody
Proving
else
that Cole
does that.
has a heart.
Yeah. I can't
totally
stand to
spaced
listen to
out.
my own voice, but I will leave it up running.
To be fair, Cole, I can't stand listening to your voice either. So.
I don't blame you. Have you heard this shit?
Unfortunately, yes.
Weekly.
You sound better than me, so.
I mean, my mic is great. My voice is garbage. You know, like those Dollar Tree helium balloons you get? I sound like Minnie Mouse sucked off one of those for some cheap crack.
Oh, Lord.
There's a mental image for you. Enjoy.
Can we quote you on that?
Yeah.
I am making that a tweet for this episode.
There you go, Jacob. You've got your work cut out for you now. Cole's giving you extra shit to tweet about.
Yeah.
That should really just be the name of the episode.
What, shit to tweet about?
No.
Minnie Mouse sucking off a helium balloon?
Yep, for crack.
Cheap crack.
That's a
Not
long
even
show
the good
title.
Crack. That's okay. It's worth it.
Totally. Especially when the Disney lawyers get involved.
Here's what we need to do is we need to make longer show titles so that people will click on it to read the whole thing. And there's such a long title that the whole show plays before they get to the end.
I can't write a title that long. I would need to write an actual novel.
No, it's okay. Just copy and paste like A Tale of Two Cities.
Just put some Lorem Ipsum in there in the middle. It'll be all right.
Lorem Ipsum. Nice.
Hey, buddy. Come here, love me.
What?
I think this is the nicest Cole has ever sounded when I'm on the show.
My kitty comes to hello.
I like how you didn't address that. You just immediately talked to the cat without any context whatsoever.
Trust me, I know the mic picked him up. So
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything either.
Everybody's always like, I hear your cat. And I'm like, he's outside.
I didn't hear him. So.
The kitty come to love me. And because he never loves me, then I'm taking my affections as I can get them.
Hey, you might as well. What is that noise?
That is not on my end.
That's the ball. That's the ball I'm sitting on. I'm slapping it to get us on track.
Maggie's making noise.
Kitty loves. Hi, buddy.
Oh my god.
Everyone's so distracted. All right, let's talk news. There was a lot of news this week. We have a lot to talk about. PlayStation had a State of Play event today, August 6th, Thursday. Showed off a lot of games, some new announcements. Let's go through all of them. They start off with a video on Crash Bandicoot 4, which is coming out October 2nd. That was nifty.
Yeah, that's hitting everything, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, then. Next.
Actually, I don't know if it's hitting Switch. I know it's hitting Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know if it's hitting Switch.
It will eventually, I'm sure.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for new Crash, though.
I have no nostalgia with Crash whatsoever.
Nothing?
Me either.
Never played it that I am aware of. Like, I do some shit that I forgot, clearly, but, you know, the drugs are strong. But, I don't remember ever, like, playing it or being like, I absolutely can't wait to play another one of these. It's like, well, it's Crash. Thanks.
It looks good,
I looked it up real quick. There's still no Switch release announced.
Well.
Okay, so Xbox and PlayStation.
So
October 2nd.
The main platforms, I guess. Yeah. Just because I know Root Beer's in chat and he's going to be like, wait a second, Switch is a main platform.
You are such a ball buster sometimes.
I know.
They showed off some new footage of Hitman 3, and they revealed that it has a PlayStation VR mode where you can play the entire game in VR. I think that's pretty badass.
That's
like, they put so much effort into that, they probably could have just made a whole new game.
Well, they did make a new game. It's called Hitman 3.
Oh. When did they do that?
It's coming out in January.
Haven't
like
finished
double timed it
yet. Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes out January.
Well, then that's considerably more impressive. I don't play Hitman, so I don't know.
You're just ball busting today. That's all you're doing.
Sometimes
I'm going to be contrarian at everything.
Sometimes I just like to look. Listen, it was a PlayStation event, and I'm like, but I got my kitty, so here we are.
Yeah, but they had games for all platforms, not just PlayStation.
I know. And there were a few that I'm excited about, but
like literally the first 2 games are multi-platform. And now the third game that we're going to talk about is another multi-platform game.
yeah.
Okay.
Braid Anniversary Edition.
This one I know a lot of people are excited for.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Completely overhauled visually. They said that every pixel in the original game now equates to 9 pixels, and the side-by-side comparisons they showed, it looks gorgeous. And like the backgrounds are hand animated and hand painted. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of comparison screenshots from the original and the remake, and it was really impressive.
Oh, yeah. It is also going to include commentary for pretty much everything in the game, and that is set to release early 2021, and later confirmed that it is planned for simultaneous release on every platform. Like literally everything. PC, Xbox One, Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch, everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
Fucked exclusivity.
Yeah, even Panasonic 3DO, like Carnage is saying in chat. Root Beer never completed Braid. Really?
I never played it.
Really? What the hell's wrong with you people?
We talk about this all the time, that I have like a whole gap of years where I just didn't play shit.
Braid was 360.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, but I didn't really get into indies that much until I got the one. No, it wasn't intentional. It was just, we had the rule that we didn't buy a game unless we were both going to play it. And so I only played what David wanted most of the time, because I was like, yeah, I'd play it too, because I don't fucking care. I play everything. And so, but he cares, and he's like super exclusive, and so I played a fuck ton of Call of Duty and Halo and not much else. So the exception would be like, oh, I got State of Decay for 99 cents. And, that's where the extent of most of my indie gaming came from, was like, oh, it was $1.
Oh, boy.
So I played like Keflings, Kingdom for Keflings, and State of Decay, and
we need more Kefling games
like that.
I miss those. I really like those games.
Dude, me and Kelly D all the time talks about Kefling games and how we miss the Kefling games.
Who did those?
Weren't they Microsoft?
They were
published by Microsoft, but Ninja Bee. There we go.
Ninja Bee.
What the hell is Ninja Bee up to?
Do they still exist?
Better be fucking making a new Kingdom of Keflings is what they better be doing out here. They better be like, by the way, this is a Series X launch title. Boom, Game Pass, here you go. That's what I want to hear. Nothing else matters until that happens.
No, Microsoft isn't too keen on announcing new shit anymore, so.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Terrible.
No.
Too bad Microsoft doesn't make games.
They made a Kefling game for VR back in 2018.
Yeah, that was the last thing they did.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, for the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive.
I forgot the HTC Vive existed. I was about to be like, what fucking phone VR? Forgot that was a thing.
Oh, God.
A handful of Keflings. Wow.
Yep, that's their most recent game.
So
they still exist, it seems.
They did at least within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, after Braid, they showed off a new game called The Pathless. It was a mix of like sprinting and archery. It looked gorgeous, but the gameplay kind of irritated me.
Why did it bug you?
Like, I don't want to sprint and shoot stuff constantly. Just let me run to where I gotta go. I don't want to like keep aiming at different things and shooting them and filling a gauge that depletes incredibly quickly.
That's because you're bad at aiming.
Well, no, there's no aiming in the game.
Oh.
Is this a new PlayStation game, or are we still discussing Ninja Bee?
Yeah, this is a new PlayStation
game called The Pathless.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I really wanted this, but it looks like it's going to be I'm pretty sure it's an exclusive.
Probably. It's not even aiming. It's a timing thing.
I'm gonna back up and say I don't think this will be an exclusive. I think it will come to Xbox, but eventually.
So it's a timed exclusive.
Because it's from the creators of Abzu.
Yeah.
And it's Annapurna published, and that tends to be there, and it's already slated for Microsoft Windows. So it will be on Xbox eventually, if I had to guess. That, like, the way Annapurna tends to do it is, like, PlayStation gets it, and then, like, 6 months or a year later, they're like, oh, by the way, hey, Xbox. And you're like, well, we saw that coming because you put it on Windows, and it was just a matter of time. So
well, then I'm still moderately excited for this because I do like the visuals. I think it's a very pretty looking game.
I hadn't seen anything. I didn't get to watch like the full thing because I was like, yeah, it's PlayStation. But I was looking up notes and stuff about it, and I saw the screenshots, and so I didn't realize that that's how it played. I'm not bothered by it just from how you describe it, and it still looks gorgeous, and I would probably sit down and play it. And by the way, you can pet the falcon.
Mm-hmm. You have to wipe its wings off.
So
I've been waiting for this game for I think since fucking the actual last real E3 we had. I think it was shown off at.
I haven't seen this one before, so I guess I haven't been paying attention. I
know I've seen it somewhere. And I was really excited for it, but I was like, it's going to be a PlayStation fucking only game.
No, I don't think it will be. I will be very surprised.
We'll see in due time. We'll see in due time. But they showed off some footage of Splunky 2, and that one is hitting PS4 on September 15th. And that so far is an exclusive. They haven't mentioned any other platforms for that one, but I would be shocked if it didn't hit other platforms eventually.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to be an exclusive.
Yeah, that one's been known to be an exclusive for a while, sadly.
Yeah, but
hopefully
it's
not long.
I probably even talked about it at one point and then just forgot because that's what I do. But man, that sucks if it does stay an exclusive because number 3 saw an ad for it, and she fucking loves Spelunky. And she's gonna want Spelunky too.
Well,
and I'm gonna have to be like, nope, we are PC mustard facers. We can't have it.
Well, it might be on
Xbox
PC as well.
It might be. That's a good point.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Might be okay on the PC, but
I think they mentioned the PC version is getting delayed though due to working on multiplayer. So it might launch on PlayStation first and hit PC and other platforms later. We'll see. Who knows?
I'm patient.
We'll see. After that was a game called Genshin Impact, which is releasing this autumn on the PS4. I thought this one looked really good. Very anime styled, very colorful, very pretty. Action adventure RPG, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It
looks like an Aki game.
Yeah, it was what I would expect to see at a Sony show off. I'd be like, yeah, that's a Sony game.
Yeah. Then things got interesting because they revealed a game called Aeon Must Die, which is coming out supposedly in 2021, allegedly for all platforms. The game looked interesting, very stylish, beat 'em up RPG. It looked kind of like, I couldn't really tell. The visuals and the gameplay weren't very clear. But rumors have been circulating since the trailer showed that the entire dev team quit the studio.
Wow.
Because of crunch and lack of payments.
I can't say I blame. And this is something that is a notorious issue for game devs and studios, that they don't like to pay when the time is up. And also, Focus Home Interactive. They're Focus Interactive. They're known for being pretty shitty publishers. So it happens.
Yeah, there are reports that Focus reportedly they're claiming they stole the IP from the devs. I don't know if it was something in their contract that they wrote that maybe the owners didn't read properly. Who knows what happened? This one might get messy. I don't want to shit talk Focus Home too much because we do cover their games. It'd be nice to not get blacklisted.
They've had a history of doing some pretty shady shit. Yeah. And that's fair to say. If you're going to talk about the news, you have to say they're not always.
What was it? The Sunken City?
Good guys.
That they ran into issues with Frogwares. I know Carnage posted it in chat earlier.
They did something. They just
delisted all their games.
Yeah. And wouldn't give them their sailing rights back or something either, even though that was part of their contract. Was that they would get all
the
that
Sherlock Holmes games too. Yeah. So. I mean,
and then Frogwares republished it themselves through the ID at Xbox program for the Sherlock Holmes game.
Yeah.
So that Aeon Must Die might get really messy, and who knows if it'll actually release, but if it does, it looked really good.
Yeah. Just, I hope they're getting paid for making it look good.
Yeah. I doubt it. Apparently, another thing that I've read was that the trailer was supposedly outsourced to artists without contracts. So the devs didn't even make the trailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have little to no hope for that game. Just from everything you just said, I have no hope for that game.
I know.
My cringe face is strong right now.
Jacob, any thoughts from you on this one?
About,
Are you even paying attention?
Nope.
Totally.
How high are you right now?
I'm not. No, I'm just laying here on my bed.
Oh, so you're just not paying attention.
Well, yeah. I'm kind of like Cole, was 10 minutes ago with her cat, except it's with my dog.
I'm still loving on the kitty.
And also, I didn't announce it to everybody at first, so...
I got really excited. I've had a shitty day. I've had a shitty week. And if my cat, who is adverse to affection, decides he wants to love me, I'm on board.
Okay.
Carry on.
Next
But
game.
it sounds like a game company wasn't getting paid. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll listen when you listen to the show. You'll understand what we're talking about.
Okay.
You'll be there. Don't worry.
Glad you have faith.
Bold of you to assume that I'll listen this far in, but
Bold to assume anyone will listen this far in, but they showed off a game called Anno Mutationum. This one looked interesting. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on, but it's releasing in December. So there you go.
Wait, what was this one called?
Anno Mutationum.
The hell? How did I miss this one? How did anybody keep up with it? Oh, it's very cyberpunky. No, I didn't watch the thing, but I was going through the releases and stuff, and somehow I missed this one. I watched trailers.
I did more research. You asked if I'm high.
I did more research than you motherfuckers who actually watched it. I'm keeping up better because I did go back and watch trailers and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think either of them watched it.
Nope.
No.
Terrible. Look, I at least went and looked for the trailers, but somehow I missed this one.
I was playing Lego City Undercover with my kid. So.
Okay, well, I neglect my children, so who's better at being on a podcast?
If this Anno game comes out on Xbox or Steam, I might play it, providing my PC can run it, because it looks interesting. I like it.
All I'm getting from it is cyberpunk, pixel art, fast car, girl, big boobs. Yeah,
I'm sold.
Isn't that all you need to know, though?
I mean,
right?
It's clearly not targeted at me.
No.
Fine.
Well, maybe if you broadened your horizons, Cole. Jeez.
I broadened my horizons out so far that I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn this weekend.
My PC can't handle that at all. That makes me
From
sad.
the looks of the Digital Foundry review, nobody's can.
Oh no. So it's the new Crisis. Okay.
It might
It's a very bad port, from what they say.
Oh no.
Still gonna play it, but yeah, apparently there's quite a bit of fuckery involved there.
Oh well.
Anyway,
next game they showed off was some more footage on Bug Snacks, coming out holiday 2020 for the PS5. What else can you say about Bug Snacks? It looks adorable.
It does. I can't even hate on it. It's just it's so weird.
Yeah.
It just is, and you accept it for what it is.
Yeah, for some reason, every time I hear about it and look at it, it reminds me of Slime Rancher, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
Oh.
That's on you.
Yeah.
After that was a trailer for Star Wars Vader Immortal, which is finally hitting PlayStation VR August 25th.
Okay.
I know Jacob was excited for a second until he heard PSVR.
I was going to say, I already knew it was a VR title, so I was just like, whatever.
I was excited until I heard that part. It's like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah. They showed off a trailer for the new Control expansion called Awe, which is releasing August 27th, and it looks to be a crossover with Alan Wake.
I want that.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
So to reference that George of the Jungle joke, when it's called Awe, is it Aw? Or is it Aw?
Alternate world events is
AWE.
Yep.
Shock and awe.
Whatever.
I appreciate you pulling out a George of the Jungle reference, though.
Dude, that was a solid movie back in the day.
If
Look
you
out
insist.
for that joke.
Oy vey. Fucking oy vey.
There was a trailer for Auto Chess. This looked absolutely batshit crazy. It is coming out October 31st. I didn't look up if it's hitting any other platforms, but it looks so hectic.
Yeah, I don't know that one at all.
I don't know.
Hello, Jay Carmichael, hanging out in chat. How are you doing tonight?
Joe has to go to referencing the chat because the rest of us are so oblivious on the game he's talking about.
Yes.
What it was it again?
Auto Chess.
Dota Auto Chess? This is not it, no? Yes?
It was just called
What?
Auto Chess.
Apparently there's an Auto Chess mod for Dota 2, and that's what Google keeps trying to give me, and I'm like, what are we fucking talking about? I'm so confused.
No one's paying
Oh,
attention.
this looks very different than what I was getting from Google. What the fuck is this?
I saw the trailer and it just looked like shit just kept happening, and I didn't understand what was going on with that trailer.
Shit just keeps happening is
Yeah.
a pretty solid explanation of
Yeah.
this. What is this?
It's
I'm
Auto
very
Chess.
confused.
But next game after that was The Pedestrian, which is releasing in January. This looks like a really cool puzzle game, puzzle platformer where you have to shuffle different plates around and connect doors to walk through and link everything together and make it through. It looks really interesting. It's tough to explain in words, but it
Yes.
looks really interesting.
Yeah, this came out on Steam already. And
Did it?
looked, yeah, and release date Jan 29th of this year, apparently.
Yeah, I would play this.
Yeah, my computer wasn't good enough to play it.
Get fucked, Aki.
My next computer will be, though. It's just a matter of time.
Next game was called Hood Outlaws and Legends, which is coming out 2021, confirmed for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC. So it's going to be hitting all the big boys next year.
Nice.
Yep. After that was an MMO Pokemon style game called Temtem, also coming out in 2021, confirmed for PlayStation and Series X. So it's hitting
And
Xbox. I just said Series X.
I know it, but I said it so delayed because I'm moving slow in my head. I just wanted to jump in there and be like, and Xbox, and I couldn't because
You're slow.
I'm so not doing well.
Temtem looks cool.
Temtem does look cool.
I'd be more into it if it wasn't an MMO. That kills it for me, personally.
Why?
I've never enjoyed an MMO. Never. Never liked
Root Beer says Chris, our party cast partner, Chris is streaming Baten Kaitos. So we now have competition for his attention. I totally understand if you go to Baten Kaitos. That game is awesome to watch. Plus our show sucks.
Can I go watch
No, you have shit to talk about.
I don't even know what that is.
Wait, am I allowed to leave?
No, you have shit to talk about.
No, he doesn't. Let him go.
No, he has 2 reviews that have to get done, so he's not leaving.
Son of a bitch.
He's not leaving anytime. Oh, motherfucker, you're stuck here. They ended off the show showing some more footage of Godfall coming out this holiday. And that was the PlayStation event. 40 minutes. They showed off a bunch of games. One that might not ever exist because the studio is imploding. But overall, a solid show. Lots of cool games showed off. Lots of multi-platform stuff. So it's going to be good for everybody, not just PlayStation fans. But there was some news this week that pissed off everybody. PlayStation fans, non-PlayStation fans, comic fans, superhero fans, everybody's pissed off. It has been confirmed that Spider-Man is coming to Square's The Avengers video game, but only on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what we call shitty.
That's called a dick move.
Yeah, it didn't exactly surprise me because, I mean, Sony, I think, has exclusive rights for the video game stuff, although not in group games, which I was a little surprised by.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man is in the Lego games. Spider-Man is in Ultimate Alliance 3. Spider-Man isn't Spider-Man in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
I believe so. I think so.
So Sony doesn't own the video game rights to Spider-Man.
No, for solo outings, I think they do. But
I mean, they own the movie rights to Spider-Man. Everyone knows that. But people are insistent that Sony owns all of Spider-Man, and they don't.
Nope.
Right.
Marvel owns Spider-Man.
Right. But, oh crap, what was I going to say? Oh, and the other thing is that Kotaku posted a preview of it, and they're saying it's very meh. Like Anthem level.
Looks meh.
Anthem level meh.
Yeah, it's looked meh from the beginning. This is the most attention it's gotten, and it's all negative attention.
Yep.
Like there are some people defending it because they're just fucking fanboy idiots who are defending anti-consumerism bullshit, but exclusives like this, if you're buying it, and this isn't just an Xbox versus PlayStation thing, because it's coming out on PC as well. And if you buy it on Xbox or PC, you are getting less game for the same price. And that is bullshit. Sony can kiss my ass. Square can kiss my ass. Marvel can kiss my ass. I am not buying this game. The end. And I buy everything. I'm not buying this one.
That is a good point. You buy everything.
Wait, doesn't Square provide us with games sometimes?
Sometimes.
Maybe we should. Ooh, we should. I call dibs on getting this for review.
No.
I have also heard other people with the same sentiment, though, that they will not be buying it on PlayStation or Xbox or otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not.
Even though they had intended to.
And their reaction, like the person at Crystal Dynamics who's like, oh, if you want to play as Spider-Man, just buy it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I'll just buy a $400 console.
That was pretty. Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah.
You know?
That was cringeworthy defense.
That's like, that didn't work for anybody else that's used that argument. It's not going to work for you now.
Oh, I see you participate in society.
Yeah, so I'm skipping the Avengers. There's plenty of other games coming out this fall. I don't need that one. I'll be fine without it. So, too bad. Sorry, Square. It was
never one I was interested in, so none of this really bothers me.
Avengers comes out September 4th. Kingdoms of Amalur comes out September 8th. So we know what's more important there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
100%.
Some more Sony news. They confirmed that PS4 controllers will work on the PS5, but only on PS4 games. They will not work on PS5 games.
That's different.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, is there any kind of button difference on the PS5 controller?
No.
That's fun.
It's a very odd choice. Given
they're like, we want people to make use of all the features of the DualShock or the DualSense controller. No one's going to make use of your features of like the whatever.
The only studios that are going to bother fucking making anything for that controller
are first party.
That's just the way it goes. It's not something everybody else is going to jump onto because it doesn't make financial sense for them to make use of features that aren't there on other platforms if they're doing third-party development.
Yeah.
It's just going to make porting more difficult.
I'm just glad Microsoft is letting you use your Xbox One controllers on the new system. That's awesome. Because like none of the controllers to me are any fucking different from each other.
Oh, I can't wait to use my Elite controller on the Series X.
Yeah.
Oh, are those ones porting over too? I just knew the original ones were.
Yeah, every Xbox One controller besides the Kinect is going to work on the Series X.
Mm-hmm. Nice. See, that's what I like.
Even the Gen 1 ones will, as long as you plug them in, because they'll have an update. So you have to plug it in and update it, and then it'll work.
You just won't have a share button. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Xbox, a lot of Game Pass news. Bunch of games joined this week. August 6th, we got 6 games added to Game Pass.
Nice.
Darksiders Genesis on console. It Lurks Below on console and PC. The Dark Pictures Man of Medan on console. And then Trailmakers, Undermine, and Xenocrisis all on console and PC. And next week on the 13th, Final Fantasy VII.
Very nice.
The original or the new one?
The original.
Okay, I was about to say, I didn't hear anything.
No, the remake has not been officially announced for Xbox yet.
They fucking need to get off their ass. And
it won't happen until after April.
Yeah.
Because of Sony.
Fuck you, Sony.
Yeah, 1 year exclusive minimum. So thank them. Not all good news, though. Some games are leaving Game Pass. By the middle of the month, we are going to end up losing Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Yoku's Island Express on console, and then on the PC side of things, they're also going to be losing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine and Space Hulk Tactics.
Oh, I need to go get my other completion and Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I was the first person to complete it on Xbox, for the record.
Oh, you did get it?
I did get it.
Nice.
I was so proud. It's the first time I've ever gotten the first completion, and it was for a monster like Where the Water Tastes Like Wine.
Nice.
I was so happy.
Oh, Carnage says the Windows 10 version has no achievements.
Oh, that might be why. I think I installed it and I played it for a little bit and never went back, and I was like, that must have been it. I was sitting here thinking, boy, I need to go back and finish getting those last few.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You'll be fine.
It's fine.
Microsoft's xCloud service will be launching September 15th on Android and will be a part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate service. Microsoft claims more than 100 titles will be available at launch, but there is no word on an iOS release, and they actually just ended their trial preview for the xCloud beta app on iOS, so things do not look good for xCloud coming to Apple.
Yeah, I think Apple even made a statement regarding the policy of it, and they boiled down to they want to review every single game that's available on xCloud would have to be submitted to Apple and reviewed.
Yeah, and that's just stupid.
I assume ultimately it's because they would want to put a tax on all of the microtransactions. Because I don't know if you're aware, but like if you buy bits and stuff on Twitch for on an Apple phone, it costs more.
Really?
Because they have to pay the App Store like a tax.
Huh.
So it costs more. And so I'm assuming they would do the same with xCloud. They'd want to cut of any sales of DLC or anything like that. Yeah.
Now, either way, we're not getting xCloud on iOS. What do you think of that, Jacob? Were you looking forward to xCloud?
I mean, I don't really know that much about it, so I haven't really been focusing on it.
Streaming to your phone. Streaming Xbox games to your phone.
I mean, I guess it could be
tablet.
Okay, but I don't know. I mean, it's just... I pretty much do most of my gaming at this point on my Xbox, so it doesn't really affect me.
I will say I was really glad to hear that it's just coming out soon, because I had gotten a notification on the Xbox console app that's on PC that they were doing away with it.
Yeah. And
I use that to stream because I don't use the Twitch app on Xbox because fucking why would you? So what I do is I use the Xbox console app and stream my console to my computer, and then I just use OBS to capture that. and that I don't have a capture card. That's how I stream. And then like it popped up about a week or so ago, maybe even a little more, and it was like, the console app is going away. Download the Xbox Bed app. And I'm like, son of a fuck. How am I going to stream this shit to my PC now?
No.
But I guess I'll just be able to use xCloud and do it the same way. Hopefully.
Rupert's saying that it's not true about biddies. They cost the same in his province. So maybe it's an American thing.
In the U.S., they definitely cost more. Because I told somebody was asking me like, oh, how do I cheer bits in your channel? And I was like, this is how, and this is how much they cost. And they were like, no, they costed more. And I was like, son of a fuck. And then I had to get a whole rundown on how the App Store works, because I don't fucking use Apple devices. I got a brain in my head.
Excuse me? Are you insinuating I have no brain?
I'm busting all the balls tonight.
You're fired.
Okay, bye. I got ooblets. I don't care about anything else now. I just did this show long enough to get a code for ooblets.
Peace, bitches.
Got what I wanted. I'm out.
Oh, God. Some news Jacob is excited about. Battletoads is hitting Game Pass August 20th.
Woo! Finally, you can stop calling up GameStop.
Oh, boy. How excited are you for Battletoads?
I'm pretty stoked. I mean, I didn't grow up with it, but I played it a bunch when I was in college with my roommates. So I think I'm looking forward to similar Streets of Rage 4, making memories and playing online with my old roommates again. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. And it's from the studio that did Overruled. So that should be interesting.
I just hope that there's no hover bike level.
There will be. You just know there will be.
Probably.
Damn it. Or at least hopefully it won't be as tough.
I'm sure it will be.
Damn it.
They'll probably make it fucking harder.
Probably. Nintendo has sold over 61 million Switch units worldwide. Nintendo is kicking ass with the Switch.
Yes.
That's not to be expected, although I was kind of wondering if you were about to say, this year alone, thanks to quarantine. Because we gave serious thought to just buying a Switch when the quarantine began, and I got furloughed. But literally every place was sold out of them. So
I wonder if they're taking into consideration with those numbers all the ass clowns that keep using bots to buy 20, 30, 40 of them and to resell them at 10 times the fucking price because they're dicks.
Probably. I mean, Nintendo sold them.
I was going to say, yeah, once they leave Nintendo's factory, they consider those things to be sold, so...
Yeah. Nintendo also announced that Pikmin 3 Deluxe is coming to the Switch on October 30th. It delivers new missions and all the previous DLC for $60. And they have apparently pulled the game from the Wii U.
That really upsets all 5 people.
Yeah, I know. Both of them.
Wait, what?
Yes, you heard me.
5 people.
All 5 people.
You heard me. You heard me. Doom Eternal and Elder Scrolls Online will both be getting Series X and PS5 upgrades, free if you already own them. So,
yay.
More games just getting upgraded. There goes your hard drive space.
Oh, yeah. Damn it. True.
Likely, with one of those, there will go your fucking hard drive space.
Elder Scrolls Online is what, 100 gigs, something like that?
I think it's more than that.
ESO is big.
Yeah, especially if you're getting all the expansions and shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I think the expansions, aren't the expansions just included in the download?
I don't know.
Not the latest one. The latest, or what, the whole game is included with the expansion, you mean?
I'm checking now.
Because the latest one...
buy the expansions.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the latest expansion, it runs $50 up on the Xbox store, and that's on sale right now.
Yeah, but it's still just a 10 meg download. So you're technically, the game is technically, everything is there.
It's already there.
Yeah,
right.
73.3 gig, by the way, not 100, 73. So on Series X, that'll be 274 gig. Looking forward to that.
I'm still annoyed that they're giving us such small fucking hard drives.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you need a minimum of at least 5 tera TV at this point.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Remember how we used to laugh at the Xbox 360 Elite with its outrageous 120 gig hard drive? Who's going to need that?
Me.
We all did.
Yeah.
I had my first 360 was the Elite, and which had, I think, the highest gig allotment at that point. I think it was 250.
It started at 120 because it came out at the same time as the Halo 3 special edition, and when I got my Halo 3, limited edition version, I also bought the console at the same time, and I had the choice between the 120 gig hard drive, which would also feature that new chip which prevented red ringing, or I could get the Halo 3 20 gig edition with fancy gamer pics and backgrounds, which of course, once they got rid of the blades, didn't matter anymore. So obviously I went with, the better choice, the Halo 3 console.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really bad choice, especially since they cost the same amount of money.
Yeah. See, I got the Splinter Cell Conviction bundle with the Elite. That was my very first Xbox, even altogether, and I got it specifically because Splinter Cell. I fucking love Splinter Cell.
Conviction, is that the one with him holding up the the mugshot sign on the front, or was that the next game?
That was prior. That was Double Agent.
Okay, it's been years since I played it.
Yeah, I remember every last one of them. No, Conviction was the one that wasn't like any of the Splinter Cell games. It was an action game.
I was going to say, because I remember they were like, well, if you want to be stealthy, you could, or you could run and gun. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to run and gun. And I had fun with it. I never finished it.
Oh, I've 100%ed every single one of them that had achievements. And I've beaten all of them otherwise.
Did Cole die?
Probably.
Maybe.
Okay.
I feel like it. I hit my energy wall. Yeah.
I was just like, it's suddenly very quiet,
Well, I don't know if Cole's ever played a Splinter Cell game. They're stealth games. I don't know if that's up Cole's alley or not.
Rude. Yes. I play everything.
No, we just discovered earlier in the show that you play nothing.
What?
Yeah.
You never played Crash Bandicoot. You never played Hitman. You never played Braid.
I'm at least familiar with them. That's better than a lot of the things we talk about.
Which are also games.
I do my best.
Speaking of games, Twitch gave away 5 more free games for August. Should we go over the Twitch Prime games for August?
Sure,
I guess.
Twitch Prime owners get Chroma Squad, Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, Warsaw, Treachery in Beatdown City, and Blazing Chrome, all for free.
Very nice.
Good games.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, that's the news I got. Anyone have anything else you want to discuss, or is everyone ready to just dive into these reviews? Because we got a lot of them.
Let's get it done.
Let's do the reviews.
All right, first game to talk about tonight is called Yakuza Kiwami 2, developed by RGG Studio, published by Sega, released July 29th on Xbox One and Windows 10 for $19.99. Kazuma Kiryu, the Dragon of Dojima, must face the ambitious Ryuji Goda, the Dragon of Kansai, in an all-out war between 2 rival Yakuza clans, an extreme recreation of one of Yakuza's most beloved entries, now in stunning 4K. There can be only one dragon. Jacob, tell us about Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Before that, I would like to just say congratulations. Everything you said was correct, and I am proud of you.
Yay.
Well, at least somebody's proud of Joe.
Yay.
It had to happen eventually.
Only took you're like 39, 40?
Shut up.
Even a broke clock is right twice a day.
Tell us about the game.
Okay. All right. So, about Yakuza Kiwami 2. Have you played the other Yakuza games?
Yes.
Yes? Cool. Buy it. All right, review done.
No, we need more than that.
All right. So, I was super excited because first off, my wife got me into these games. And initially, I, got Yakuza 0. I was begging Joe for it because then I could get my wife to play it and make her happy and all that other kind of stuff. And then I started reviewing, got into it. I gave a very ecstatic review for it. So anyway, so one of the downsides of Yakuza 0 that I wasn't so much of a fan of is that, like, you had, and it makes sense in terms of the story, but you had to build up to, like, learn how to fight and kick at people's asses and stuff like that. And then, so now I'm reviewing Yakuza 2. All of that stuff is unlocked because as the story's progressed through multiple games, you should already know how to do this stuff. And it's awesome. So I'm just running around, oh god, what's the name of the city? Whatever. It's a Japanese city. Who cares? I'm beating up random thugs and Yakuza on the street, and it's great. So anyway, so pretty much, the game starts off. Sorry. I just realized like how all over the place I am with this. Yeah,
you're very all over the place. Let's start things off. What is Yakuza Kiwami 2?
Okay, so in terms of the plot line, you're supposed to be delivering a message to a rival clan in hopes of creating peace because, Yakuza, the gangs are starting to fight each other once again, and it's about to explode into this huge East versus West powder keg. And so you need to create peace between like the two biggest factions. And then, of course, one of the other side's son who wants to take over, he's being a complete dickhead and wants to just murder everybody. He comes in and starts kidnapping his own father and tries running the show. So all this kind of stuff, all this crazy stuff just starts happening. And you have to fix the situation and obviously make it so things don't, get even crazier than they already are. All the while, helping old ladies on the street of Tokyo find her amulet, helping raise money for a children's orphanage, running a cabaret club, becoming a bouncer for a bar, and just randomly beating up roaming gangs of youths and Yakuza on the streets.
Random beatings are always fun.
Oh my god, they're always so much fun. Like, there's just never enough people to beat up in the city. And on top of it, like, there's tons of mini games in it. Like, you can play golf. The game is practically food porn, which, because you have to go into restaurants and, food helps, refill your health, but also, your stomach, and it helps you fight better and stuff like that. And you're just like looking over all the food and you're like, ugh, it's 11 o'clock. I wish there was an Asian place that delivered near me. Yeah, and it's just like, I'm now like 9 hours into the game, like 5 chapters in. I'm already in over my head with the club management thing because it's the first time I've ever gotten around to it. And I'm about to start up my own clan according to some of the guides I've read online. So that should be fun. But it's just, it's Grand Theft Auto, except it's better written and it's wackier in its own way. It's the Japanese Grand Theft Auto, I guess you could put it, except you don't drive cars ever. But it's
just okay. A lot of running,
a lot of saving, orphanages, helping children, helping old ladies across the street while you're a tough Japanese gangster.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I love playing it. Like, especially, I love how you can just jump in and just start kicking everyone's ass in the story. And it's not too difficult. It's like, I think they really just want you to enjoy the story and enjoy the experience. So yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with it. If you love the previous Yakuza games, definitely buy it.
Aki, did you play this one at all?
No, I did not.
I'm surprised.
You should.
Well, I just don't have the room on my Xbox for it right now. I haven't played the first one either. I've only played Yakuza 0 so far. I still haven't beaten it. I've gotten like over 100 hours into it, and I'm not even halfway through the story yet.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, one I talked one of my supervisors at work. He's like down low, like really big on the Yakuza series. And he was just like, oh yeah, like when Yakuza 2 came out, I spent like 100, I think he said 150 hours total. But like the club management thing, he was just like, it's so stupid, but it's so much fun. And he was just like, I spent like probably around 40 hours on that alone. So
damn.
Yeah, there's a ton to do in the game, and it's just like, if you don't feel like doing the club thing, whatever, don't do the club thing. Go off and play golf if you want to. You know, do side like random fetch quests. Who cares? Like, just have fun.
So a lot to do. Only $20. Your verdict was.
Honestly, if they charged $50 for it, I'd still be cool with it.
Well, originally they did.
I'm dead serious. Well, yeah, originally they did. For $20, it's a steal. But like, honestly, I'd be totally down for paying for more for this game. Like,
well, you don't have to.
You're right, exactly. Yeah. Sega's awesome like that with this, so buy it.
All right, next game to talk about is called Skater XL, developed and published by Easy Day Studios. Released July 28th on Xbox One and PS4 for $39.99. Skater XL is the evolution of a skateboarding gameplay with its independent foot control system and unique physics-based gameplay. Skate gamers finally have expressive controls they have always dreamed of. Jacob, tell us about Skater XL.
So pretty much I missed out on like the Skate series by EA, so I can't really talk to like how it fares versus that. But if you're expecting like a Tony Hawk game, you're going to be disappointed. This is not like an arcadey game. It's pretty much just as in the description. It's your skateboard, and your arch nemesis, gravity and physics. And it's just pretty much it's you experiencing freedom with your skateboard. Like, you can go wherever you want to on the map, provided physics will allow you to do it. And it's just you dicking around with your skateboard in a parking lot or on a ramp, and just failing tons of times at a trick. Yeah.
How do the controls work? They mention an independent foot control system. So what's the story there?
So pretty much, the controls are they're easy to discuss, and theoretically they're easy, but it's like being on an actual skateboard. It's going to take time to master. Like, this is not a pick up and play. I mean, to a degree it is, because obviously you can do an ollie with no issue, but to do all the basic stuff, you are going to have to go through the tutorials and go over and over and over again. But essentially what it is the left stick controls your left foot, the right stick controls your right foot. And the game does allow you to, A controls right foot for like pushing, like, scooting yourself along. Mm-hmm. And I think it's X. Yeah, it is X. Is for scooting, with your left foot. And the game does kind of allow you to tilt, like to allow yourself to turn with the sticks, but you're really not supposed to. You're supposed to use the triggers for left and right in terms of turning and stuff like that. And so, as I said, the controls are really basic, but it still takes you a ton of time to master, just like it would be on an actual skateboard. Which I kind of appreciated. At the same time, it still got kind of frustrating, but, to do a new trick, you obviously are going to have to put the time and effort into actually learning it. It's not like Tony Hawk where you're just button mashing everything and into oblivion. Now, there's 5 levels in the game. I only found 2 of them to be really fun. I mean, the other 3 are okay, but the ramp, I think it's actually called Big Ramp. Big Ramp is a lot of fun because it's just you out in the middle of a desert on this like huge ramp. There's part of it has a gap that you can fly over, which, gives you some X Games appeal. Actually, that whole thing really, it just reeks of X Games kind of stuff. and then the other one is like a school parking lot, and so there's like lots of things that you can grind on. There's cafeteria tables. There's a couple of cars that you can, grind off their bumper and stuff like that. And there's a lot to explore. Now there is one, I think it's called Downtown LA. That one has some nifty exploration stuff to it. And of course, like, part of the fun is just seeing what you can exactly jump off of and actually, not have physics break your bones. Oh, well, can I jump 2 stories out of a parking garage? Go down the parking ramp enough, clear the railing over, and then land on the street underneath without, my guy falling off the bridge or falling off his board. But as I said, it's just you and your skateboard. Like, yeah, there's cars present, but none of them are moving. It's just you and your skateboard. So it's a very zen game. And even the music kind of adds to it. Like, it's got Modus Mouse on it. Shoot, I forget some of the other bands, but all the music is just chill. Like, it's just a chill game. It's not all over the place like Tony Hawk was, in terms of music, where it was like, in your face punk or rap and stuff like that. The game just wants you to enjoy yourself. And so, sorry, I had to belch. Anyway.
Proud of you.
Thank you. And so it's just you just doing like tons of tricks all over the place, and trying to figure out stuff. Now, as I said, there's only 5 levels in the whole game. They're kind of big, but as 3 of them, there's really not that much to do in. I'm assuming that there's going to be DLC. I think this is the first, one of the few times in a game I've ever hoped that there's going to be DLC. For it, just because I'll be honest, the initial offering of your different areas it's just not enough. There's not enough fun. There's not enough to do with it.
What kind of modes does the game have?
It's pretty much just you. It's you dicking around on a skateboard. That's pretty much it. That is the game. And that's actually I'm fine with the game as it is, but the problem with it is that in the end, it kind of feels like a $40 tech demo in that regard. It's impressive, it's cool, it works great.
It's just not enough.
The lack of features, the lack of features, I'm just I don't know. And you can do customization for your characters. There's only 5 actual people that you can play as, but you can customize your own character, and there's plenty to choose from. It's not much, but it's okay. But again, the point of it is not free. It's not like Tony Hawk, where it's just oh, well, if I go with this skater, I have more of this grind ability, or I can do more tricks quickly and stuff like that. It's just you. I can't say this enough. The game is literally just you and your board dicking around and having fun. And I spent most of my time up on the big ramp level because, as I said, it's a shitload of fun just going up and down the inclines, or going across seeing if you could figure out how to make it across that jump. If you can make it across that jump, what kind of tricks you can do while doing it. There actually is an achievement, because they do pride themselves on their physics with this game, that it's just if you make a jump that theoretically is not possible, there is an achievement for that, which you can unlock on the ramp thing. But yeah, other than that, I guess my only complaint is that the model for the skater guy, he's very stiff, and granted, he doesn't need to have all the actions. It's just weird. When you're falling off the board, it just it's almost like the body, his body just freezes and he just falls off the board, and it's whatever. But the thing is that I think it's because they tossed all of it into gameplay, that they're just yeah, who gives a shit about the character model? And it's just it's definitely not a game breaker. It's definitely not oh, well, I'm not going to buy this game now or recommend it. it's just weird looking. You know what I mean?
Well, overall, $40 on this one. What do you think of it?
I wish that you got more content for it, but I still recommend this game. I'd be more comfortable with like a $30 price tag for it, maybe. But for $40, I still recommend it. I'm not thrilled with, well, the thing is, the game is solid. Like, the gameplay in this game is solid. It's just
it needs more content.
Factor. It needs more than just 5 levels, and if they're going to add more stuff, it needs to just be like, because there literally is one level where it's just like, oh, here's a parking lot. I mean, yeah, cool. I mean, it does, give memories of like, high school hanging out in front of a 7-Eleven watching, one of my friends do tricks, in front of it. But it's just like, yeah, it's kind of neat reliving that, but I shouldn't, like, there needs to be more to that level than just memories of hanging out in front of 7-Eleven dicking around.
Yeah.
Like, so hopefully they make DLC for this game, but either way, I still highly recommend it.
Cool beans. All right, well, that's it for you. Were you going to stick around, or did you have to get going?
I have to get going.
Thank goodness.
Ooh.
Oh, shut up. I knew Cole would come alive as soon as I said that.
I am nothing if not predictable.
No more Jacob. Booyah, party time.
I know. She's like, I feel so much better. Ugh,
I was taking a nap. I'm good now.
The dulcet tones of Jacob talking.
Oh, Lord. All right, Jacob, we'll let you get going. Thanks, as always, for being here. Do you have any final words before you go?
I bitch done left.
Nope. No. Dang it.
All right, well then, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
What?
It means don't get hit in the ass by the door on your way out. Bye.
I know what it means. That's just a dumb phrase.
No, it's fantastic. I say that shit all the time.
No wonder I don't like you so much.
All right, Jacob, you have yourself a good one. Oh, man. All right, next game to talk about is called Skully, developed by Finish Line Games, published by Modus Games, released August 4th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $29.99. On a mysterious remote island, a skull washes up on shore and is reawakened by an enigmatic deity. Dubbed Skully, the newly reanimated being has been summoned to intervene in a war between the deity's 3 siblings, whose quarrel jeopardizes the island they call home. Cole, tell us about Skully.
They're supposed to be siblings?
Yeah.
Huh. I kept waiting for like some kind of like they got divorced vibe because a lot of the dialogue was very similar to what divorced couples have, and I'm just like, okay,
I mean, they could have done that too.
I mean, deities do shit. Who knows? But yeah, I was kind of. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of glazing over the dialogue of the game because where it shines is in the way that it plays out in the platforming and the puzzle solving elements. And so that's what I was very focused on. And they would start talking like the clay deity character that creates you and makes you sentient. He just kind of randomly talks in the background. His name is Terry, as in terraforming, and like he kind of just chats in the background a whole lot. And I kind of glazed over his dialogue a lot. And I was like, yep, can't listen to you. Too busy trying to get this flower that's up on this hill of rocks. I'll see you later. I was very focused on where I wanted to go get the shinies and nothing else mattered. So I'll roll back a little bit because I need to get it roll. And explain that you are a little skull with a little bit of clay in your head and inside your skull, like where your brain cavity is. And as long as you have some clay there, you're okay. But the water will wash the clay away. And if it washes it all away, then you dead. You gotta start again. But you can actually refill your clay. The game calls them clay pits. I don't know where in the world clay is black. It's a tar pit. And I will forever call it a tar pit. Not tar like if you've heard me say tire either, but like tar as in actual black tar. I'm properly pronouncing it this time, and I need to specify. But it looks like a tar pit to me for all intents and purposes, and so that's what it was, and I will stick to it and call it that for the rest of the show, and I don't give a fuck how many times the game called it a clay pit.
I'm glad you dedicated 2 minutes to talking about the pit.
It was important.
I can
because
tell.
The pit is actually a very central point. It's not just your checkpoint, and it's not just where you can get your health back. Because while you spend a good chunk of the game rolling around as Skully, Skully has a couple variations that he can morph into when he's in a tar pit. One being who we affectionately referred to as the Big Boy, because I played this on stream when I say we, because it's basically just like a big rock creature, and it builds up around Skully when you summon it, right?
Okay.
And then instead of rolling around as the skull and forcing yourself to jump and platform, then you can actually walk around inside the rock formation. And then you have a couple extra different abilities. So remember how I said water's a problem and it washes Skully's clay away, right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes as you are platforming through the world, you'll come across what's called a water punk. And it's a sentient blob of water, and they swell up with water, and they splash, and if you get hit by that, you're fucked. However, if you're in the rock formation, dude, you can pull the trigger, and he will hit the ground, and volcanic, a little bit of lava, and some fiery-looking effects happen, and it shoots out in front of him, and whew, there goes the water. It's evaporated. Now you can carry along. Not have to worry about it. It also gives you an extra, like, level of shielding for Skully, because when you are in one of the creatures that you can summon, I say one, there's 3 in all, and each of them have their own, each have 2 specific different abilities. But when you are inside one of the creatures, you can take damage as that creature. Once its health bar is exhausted, it will spit Skully out. And then you can continue on. But you also have the ability to have Skully be spit out and be picked back up as long as that specific creature has health still. You can have up to all 3 summoned at once. You can have any combination of the 3 summoned at a time. You do have to progress through the game to unlock all 3, though. They are not all available at the beginning. So you have to work your way through the story, and the puzzles become more and more complicated as you need to learn to summon the different characters and use their abilities in a way that gets you through the game. You can very much just like hold your nose and roll through a good chunk of the game and only summon when you like have to overcome specific obstacles. But if you really want to like explore the game and see what it all has to entail, which you should, there's some fantastic level design involved in Skully. And you want to get all those collectibles, which unlocks, bonus art and things like that. Then you're going to have to really learn how to manipulate the characters around the world. Really creative character design, really creative storytelling. Even though I was letting the story kind of wash over my head, the cutscenes would always still pull me back in because they had a stop motion claymation look to them. And I just absolutely adored it. Like the whole way that the characters moved in the cutscenes and stuff, I was like, this reminds me of a Rankin Bass Christmas cartoon. And I loved it. Even if the story maybe wasn't holding me, the animation and the visuals of the game definitely did. It's not an overwhelmingly difficult game, but still one that you're going to die a fuck ton in. This was the part, I have to laugh. I'm sorry to keep mentioning when I streamed it, but I was playing it and just constantly dying on this one part. Like, I knew how to beat it. That's one of the things. Like, just because you know how to beat it doesn't mean you're gonna do it. There's a lot of trial and error because sometimes you can make the same jump 15 times, and sometimes Skully is gonna just like whee right on across, and sometimes he's only gonna barely go. And that is my number one complaint about the game. But I have to laugh because I was playing it and I was dying over and over in this one part, and some dude I had never seen before in my life pops up in chat. But this guy pops up in chat and he's like, he's asking me questions about the game. He's like, it's super hard, huh? And I'm like, no, not really. I'm just bad at it. And it requires some reflex timing that I just don't have because, crooked fingers. And he goes, I noticed that it says you're a gamer mom. Does that mean that your kids are more into games than you? And this is just you trying out one of their games? And I was like, am I that bad at it that you think that I'm just flat out not a gamer?
You should have just said yes.
I was very confused. I was like, it's 4 a.m. I'm dying repeatedly. Lightspeed knows he's in chat and he has seen this. He saw this conversation happen. I was just very flabbergasted that I was doing so poorly that somebody just flat out was ready to revoke my gamer card over it. But I did have a good time playing with the game. I was playing on PC, so I'm not a gamer anywhere. But I had a good time playing with the game. I really did enjoy it. My only gripe is that it's not always consistent, and for a platformer, that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. And it does have that traditional, this is a 3D platformer, and the camera can get wonky at times. Although sometimes I would kind of use it to my advantage because there were definitely places I shouldn't have been able to have got as Skully, but I definitely did just because I would turn the camera and wiggle enough that I'd eventually make it. It was kind of like it just gave up on me. I was like, fuck it, whatever. Another thing that I would say is that sometimes the path could be a little more intentionally noted. I've spent an entirely unnecessarily long time trying to figure out where I was supposed to go in this one part because I didn't realize that I could just turn back into Skully and slide down between two roots and a tree stump. It was just not at all marked in any way that it was visible. And because it just rolled off the cliff, I just assumed that that's an invisible wall. Don't go there. Because everything surrounding it was an invisible wall. That must be too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. And so I kept running around absolutely confused. Well, I've got all the collectibles. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? No, I was supposed to fall off the ledge between the roots. And there are other areas where it teaches you to go in through these little small holes that only Skully can go. And that's fine, except all of those other ones are noticeable as being the area you should go. And this one was not. It was just completely no indication whatsoever that, hey, that way. I would like to see some kind of directional markers in the world. You know how Mirror's Edge paints shit red if you go that way, right? And the Division, if you can go up to an area, will have yellow spray paint to indicate that's an area that should get your attention. Something like that, even if it had been a flower, some kind of flower pattern or something oh, this is a flower you only see in an area where you can go. That would be good. It's just something environmental to be this way, dumbass. That's all I'm asking for.
No, as it stands, $30. What's your vote?
In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like $30 is a little bit of a high price tag because there isn't anything that breaks up the monotony of the gameplay. It's just roll, turn into a character, hit something, go back to rolling. It can get a little monotonous if you're playing it for a long stretch of time. But on the other hand, there is a lot of story there. There's a lot of worlds. They're very creative. And I think that kind of makes up for it. Even if you just Press forward, press A. Press forward, press A. If that gets a little monotonous at the same time, it is a lengthy game, and it is fully fleshed out enough that under other circumstances, I'd be like, yeah, $30 is fine. So I think I'm more for like a recommended try it. You have to already be committed to the idea of, simpler mechanics in a fully fleshed out world.
No.
Yeah. If you're looking for like complicated puzzle gameplay, no. This is more simpler gameplay and simpler mechanics, but there is a fully realized world around for it.
Cool. I might have to get this one. I've had my eye on it. I just need $30 for it.
Sell something on Mercari.
Yeah, I probably will. All right, next game to talk about is called Escape Game Fort Boyard, developed by Appeal Studio, published by Microids, released July 28th on Xbox One, PS4, and Switch for $29.99. Beat all the trials to escape the fort with the treasure. Cole, what is this game?
So this game is a little bit of a deception. I fully went into it thinking this is like an escape room, and you're going to have a puzzle with a room with a series of puzzles, and you're going to get out, and then you escaped, right? But it's not so much that. It's the idea of an escape room in that there is a wizard in this fort.
Dropping
bits! Challenges for you, and if you can get past the challenges, you get to go into his treasure room and grab as many of the coins as you can. The problem is that where I thought that the challenges were going to be like actual puzzles, they're not, and they're more like a Wipeout style game. Like one of the beginning challenge rooms that I encountered had my character sit in a chair and get spun around so they were dizzy. I have never seen Fort Boyard on TV. No, I have not. I'm sorry. I don't have cable and I don't watch much TV.
I don't know if it's ever been shown in America.
Might not be.
I know this is Fort Boyard is popular in Europe. I know there was a first Fort Boyard game that released only in Europe.
Oh.
I originally thought these were the same. Yeah, I originally thought these were the same game, but after looking at the achievement list, it looks like they have completely different games in them. I haven't fired it up to double check. I bought the European one. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
Yeah, I have no idea that this was anything beyond just this game. That's where I was coming at it from. So I apologize if I am just like butchering the respected memories of some kind of franchise that I'm oblivious to. But it was hugely popular there, which there for root beer would be Canada. So yeah, I had no idea. But yeah, I was like, okay, so it sat me in a chair and spun me around, and it was like, use your arms to keep, use your left thumbstick as your arms for balance, and then literally use left trigger and right trigger for your legs. And then there's this whole room where there's a couple of different discs that are spinning in different directions, and you've got to run across them to get to the other side. And if you do that, you win. If you fall off too many times and you run out of time, then you get fucked. You don't win. And if you lose, then your character gets sent to the jail, and they have to, at that point, you have to go through a labyrinth to get out. And if you can get through the puzzles in the labyrinth, then you get to rejoin the game. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is that I was surprised that it was more Wipeout style gameplay. Like it would have been very suited for a Kinect. And this was the first time I've been like, holy fuck, I missed the Kinect, because this would have been perfect.
I missed the Kinect too.
Like if it would have been like stand in front of the Kinect and spin in circles and now walk, toward the Kinect. That would have been great. Right? Tell me that would have been like, holy fuck, that's fun. But it also would have been dangerous. Somebody would have broke their head on the coffee table.
Yeah, definitely.
Me. I would have broke my
definitely.
head on the coffee table. But it took a little getting used to for the type of game that it was compared to the type of game that I was expecting. That's not necessarily a negative thing in any way. It just took me some time to adjust. Later, there were rooms where you're controlling like a jetpack on the water trying to collect coins. I failed that one miserably. There's another one where you're on a dinosaur trying to hit a sphere on the ceiling while it bucks you off like robo bull style in a bar. Then there's mechanical bull. Why couldn't I think of the word for that? Then there was, what was the other one I did? Oh, now there was one that kind of annoyed me because it was like, solve the riddle to access the secret room, and the more clues you need, then the less time you have. And like, there was never a fucking riddle. Or if there was, then there weren't subtitles for it. And that is my number one gripe about this game. I turned on subtitles. There were subtitles during the cutscenes with the wizard when he's like, "Oh, you'll never get past me," you know, bullshit. There were subtitles for that, but then when it was giving you instructions on how to carry out how to get past the different challenges, not a single subtitle. Anything that was spoken outside of the cutscenes, no subtitles.
Huh. That's not good.
Nothing. So if they gave me the riddle, fucking, I ain't heard it. And I was just like, what the fuck's the riddle? And so I was constantly just clicking whatever, and it was like, you're losing time asking for clues. And I was like, I don't know, this is the only option you're giving me to do. What's the riddle? Somehow I solved it anyway. And I still got to go in for a minute and get coins. So it's not the end of the world. I managed to do it, but I don't fucking know how. And I still don't know what the fucking riddle was. And it was like, you're wrong. And I'm going, no shit. What was the riddle? I really struggled on that part. But that is a big issue. There should be subtitles across the board, not just in the cutscenes. If there is dialogue, there needs to be subtitles with it.
No.
Bare minimum. I can forgive, not having subtitles for like ambient noises and things like that, but at least for anything spoken, down at the bottom needs to be there. Easy peasy, put it in. That's my biggest gripe for the game as a whole. Once I figured out like how to play it and what it was, I was fine with it. You can play it story mode and go through and do the challenges. It'll pick them at random for you. You can determine how long you want it to be. Do you want, just do a short run? Do you want a longer one with more rooms to try to get through? You can choose the difficulty for them. You can do it on easy peasy baby mode, or you can go full-fledged and hardcore it. If you don't want to have the game picking them at random, and you don't want to do the story mode, then you can just dive in, and you can pick the challenge mode and go in and actually choose which challenges you want to do in their difficulty and go through them that way. There are a ton of different challenges. I think I got through about half tops, and that was with doing a couple of the long runs on the story mode as well. And I was just like, I'm never going to get through all these challenges. So I was really impressed at how many options there were for challenges. There's plenty there. You can play it local multiplayer with 4 people. My kids were just like, what's that? And weren't interested, but that's them being them. The number one was more interested until she realized that it wasn't typical escape room like she was expecting. But other than that, pretty solid. The animations, give or take, they're not top of the line AAA or anything, but they're fine for what they are. They work in the game. And the story mode is definitely cheesy. But again, it's fine for what it is.
No. Well, overall $30. What do you say?
I think, again, the content is there for $30. If you've got, I think it's definitely one of those that you want to make sure you have people to play it with you, because you're gonna just find yourself getting bored if you're playing it alone. That's a little more of a tough sale. But if you've got the people to play it with you, and you know what you're getting, and you're not like, oh, this is going to be an escape room in the traditional American escape room sense, then, you know, you're probably going to be a little more apt to it. So I'm going to roll with like a recommended try it.
All right.
Because I think it might put some people off, but I think most people will enjoy it.
Cool beans. Next game to talk about is called Relicta, developed by Mighty Polygon, published by Ravenscourt, released August 4th on Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia for $19.99. Relicta is a first-person physics-based puzzle game where you need to creatively combine magnetism and gravity to unravel the secrets of Chandra Base. Aki, tell us about Relicta.
Wow. What can I say that you didn't just say?
I mean, I didn't say much.
Well, yeah, the bad thing is the game is mostly just completing puzzles. You play as a scientist, one of a handful, on Chandra Base. All of you are studying different aspects of this place because it was it's on the moon. I guess I should state first. It's on the moon. This entire place is on the fucking moon. And there's different biomes that people created that they, made different Earth-like environments in. Like there's a glacial area, there's a desert, there's a rainforest, there's a standard forest, there's a tropical area, blah, blah, blah. So there's a handful of different scientists there studying it. But the main thing that's being studied is this alien artifact that's on there that's called the Relicta. It's this purple crystal, and it has given them the power to control gravity at their fingertips, literally. And your character is a scientist who's studying. They're a physicist, so they study physics. And so they're specifically dealing with the, hey, this stuff lets us change magnetism. It lets us control gravity. Fuck yeah, this is awesome. And basically the entire game is you using these gloves that I don't believe anyone in your group actually created. This was all stuff that was found from an old place called Aguiar Labs, I think. Or I believe is what it was called, back before the place was destroyed in a war and then eventually taken over and all you scientists got there. They had created these gloves, and that's what you're using. You're just testing them out, seeing how they work and things like that. And basically what's happened is they've set up dozens of tests in each area of each biome for you to test these gloves, basically by getting moving a big gigantic block into different areas to open pathways, basically. And, some shit goes down, and the Relicta reactor, basically, because they're using it for power too, because, alien thing we know nothing about. Let's use it for everything when we don't know anything about it. Can you guess what happens?
Bad things.
There you go.
I'm smart.
I know, right? You deserve a cookie.
Yay.
I'm just not going to be the one that gives it to you. That's all.
Aww.
Yeah. But you can go buy cookies.
No, I'm good.
Oh well. Basically, the Relicta goes out of control. You have to go contain it, and then you have to save your crew because thanks to you doing this, the station's power has gone fucky a little bit. So you have to constantly get to different areas to power up maglifts, basically fucking bullet trains, more or less. And you have to power that up to help save the rest of the scientists. And some other shit goes down, but that would ruin the story. The story is told mostly in between going to each section in each biome. There's also some occasionally during the actual puzzles where people will call you up and typically berate you. for not moving fast enough.
Nice.
I think her name's Amari or Amali, something like that. I can't remember which one it is. And a couple other scientists are in the glacial zone. Well, the maglifts went off when you had to fucking deal with the relicta reactor about to explode or whatever it was. Well, the power's not on, so the maglifts aren't working at the moment. And that's a long, many week-long type walk. They can't do it in freezing cold temperatures. So you're trying to get to them, but the AI that controls everything, called SIS, short for system, won't turn off any of the tests. It can't, because the reactor bullshit has made it to where it can't control all the systems correctly. So you're there having to go through this shit, and sometimes she'll pop up, "Where the fuck are you? We're fucking freezing over here." So Patel interacts with her. It's mostly just those two interacting until Patel's daughter Kira shows up, and it becomes those two interacting over comms through most of the rest of it, as well as a mystery individual that I'm not going to tell you people about because I don't want to ruin the game. Fuck you. In each area, there can be anywhere from like 6 to 12 puzzles to do, and in most areas there's 2 or 3 little areas in each biome. So there's a fuck ton of puzzles in this. I think there's 48 or something puzzles in this, and that doesn't sound like a lot. I put over 30 hours into this game, and a few of those not the entire thing, but individual little, like, one trial things I've spent literally fucking hours on trying to figure them the fuck out. Because some of them can get pretty long. I think one of them, even if you know what you're doing, probably is going to take 10, 15 minutes to solve just because it's so big. Damn. Most of them are fairly small, but there's a few huge ones, and the huge ones are fucking complicated. And the great thing about this is after you finish a puzzle, once you walk into the next little puzzle area, the game saves. So you can quit after you finish one, and you're fine to come back to it. And they're pretty constant. So there's some collectibles you can obtain. Basically, they just give you some back history on the base that you're on, as well as the characters that the scientists and Patel herself. There's also collectibles that are artifacts, which are just items, just random ass items. Like one of them's a fucking coffee mug. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. There's not too many of them. There's 20 PDAs, which are the first things I talked about. Emails, documents, propaganda, whatever. And I think there was 12 or 14 artifacts, something like that. And most of them are pretty easy to find if you're just looking around in between each part of each biome. You'll find them. They're not particularly hidden or anything. They're just around in areas that you don't have to go to if you're just trying to get from point A to point B. There's also an achievement for beating the game in under 6 hours.
So it's not a super long game once you could speedrun it. Yeah.
But there are some things that are kind of not so much, oh, I can solve this. I know how to solve this, so it's solvable super easy. Some of these things also require a little bit of luck. And there are a few that require a lot of reflexes. There's some of the obstacles you come across there are 3 different colored gates. Purple, where only your character can walk through, but none of the boxes can go through. Green, where only the box can go through, your character can't. And yellow, which is fuck everything, nothing gets through here. And there's one area just to state the reflexes, where it alternates. There's a green and then a purple, and obviously you have to have the box going through the green one, you going through the purple one on this platform that's floating in between a bunch of them, and you have to alternate where they are. And then after you've alternated it at the end, you have to make it float and jump on top of it within a couple seconds, because then the thing stops and you're supposed to be on it, so it'll float up to the next area you need to be. I sat there for like 5-10 minutes just doing this like 20-second long thing over and over and over, trying to fucking get it done.
Oh boy.
And on the very last puzzle, which, like, the very last part of the very last puzzle pissed me off, because it is fully luck-based. You have to... not only can you make the things float, but you also, again, control the magnetism. There's blue and red. Opposites attract, same ones oppose. You know, like magnets, because it's controlling magnetism. They have not just the boxes, but there's plates that you can find occasionally on the floor, on the wall, on the ceiling, etc., that you can also change the magnetism of to get the box to go up there. One of them, you have to get on top of something way, way up, like stories, a couple stories tall, and you have to look down, set a box close to one specific thing, floor plate, cause it to hop over, and then cause it to stop floating to land onto a platform. And then you have to, after you actually hit that platform, which is a pain in the ass in and of itself, you have to then turn around and jump it off of that up to where you are. And it is very fucking hard. So I hated that. It pissed me off.
Well, those gripes aside, $20 on this one. What are your thoughts?
I think it's worth it. The chemistry between the characters are really funny. I love the interactions. And as a puzzle game, it's not difficult too often, but it does spike in difficulty occasionally. But it keeps a pretty level curve with that. So I'm all for it.
All right. Sounds good. All right, next game to talk about is called Undermine, developed and published by Thorium Entertainment, released August 6th on Xbox One and PC for $19.99. Available as part of Xbox Game Pass on console and PC for Windows 10. An action-adventure roguelike with a bit of RPG tossed in. Adventure deep into the Undermine and discover powerful relics, deadly enemies, hidden secrets, and a few friends to help along the way. Cole, tell us about Undermine.
Oh, it's time to talk about my favorite game of the week. Spoiler alert. I loved Undermine. It's fantastic. It's on Game Pass. I don't know why you're listening to me and not playing it. It's a roguelike. You have a peasant. There is a mine, and there are earthquakes going on in it, but they're not caused by the earth. They're caused by something else. And so they constantly keep throwing peasants down into the mine to go find out what's causing the earthquakes. And you're the peasant. And you're gonna die, and every time you die, you get to come back to be another peasant and go do it again.
And die again.
Yep, you're gonna die a fuck ton. You can buy upgrades. You do get to keep gold that you find down in the mine. You can spend it in the store that you will come across down there, or you can keep a portion of it when you die. There is a little canary that follows you around as a familiar, and they will pick up some of the gold, and when you die, they take it back to the next peasant. So then you can use that to buy upgrades that will carry on with you, so you can increase your health, you can buy better, more balanced weapons. Interesting mechanic is that you don't have two different weapons. You don't have a long shot or a short shot, or a melee. You just have your pickaxe. And you can either throw the pickaxe and have it boomerang back to you.
Because it's a magical pickaxe.
Yeah, because it's magic. Or you can just whack shit up people with it. Spoilers. Anyway, you can just whack shit out of things with it as you come across them too, if they get too close to you. So it's up to you how you approach combat. Some things are definitely better to hit from a distance, whereas some things are better to get a little up close and personal with. I absolutely had a blast. I spent an insane amount of time dying over and over and over and coming back and going back down into the mines. I was so proud of myself when I finally fucking beat the first boss, and then I had to carry on to the next dungeon, and I was like, well, shit. And I died like 2 rooms in, and it was fully predictable, and I was like, now I have to get this far and keep dying 700 times until I can buy enough upgrades to actually be able to do it. But once you finally do it, it feels so satisfying that all those deaths paid off for something. And that's the hallmark of a good roguelike. When you do finally make progress, even if you die immediately after it, you're like, fuck it, I did it, I got a little further, let's do it again.
Yeah, that's something I could say I enjoyed with Undermine more than Heroes of Hammerwatch. You just get that sense of progression a lot more with Undermine. It doesn't feel so slow. Yeah,
it was definitely like when I died and I came back, I was able to do something about the fact that I died and buy some kind of upgrade and do something so that the next time I got a little further. It was like immediate progression and it was that dopamine hit that you're looking for. You know, you're like, yeah, I died, but I got a better axe. Let's do it again. Or, yeah, I died, but I unlocked a new shop. Or, yeah, I died, but I got a voucher and now there's more items in the shop. So something was constantly happening to make you go, this time I'm going to get that motherfucking worm.
I couldn't get the motherfucking worm.
You never got it? I beat it that one time.
I can't beat him. He just... that when he goes in the ground and all the shit starts coming around on all directions, that just wrecks me.
That is one of the interesting mechanics, is that you have to jump to dodge, get over. Yeah, and so if you're used to playing like Gungeon, never mind. I think Gungeon's the only one with a dodge roll. No, there was something else I played that had dodge rolls. Fuck, Atomic Crops, maybe. Yeah. Anyway. Dodge rolls are a thing. And if you're used to like dodge rolls or some other way to dash away from trouble, the fact that you jump to avoid everything is a little harder to adjust to. And I think that was my biggest slowdown with Undermine, was learning to just trust myself to jump. But once you get ahead of it, then once you get the hang of it, then you're like, fuck yeah, jump, go, pew, gone. I don't have any complaints if that's what you're waiting for. Go ahead and ask me what I think.
I was going to ask if you had any complaints, but I guess not.
None.
So
fucking no.
$20 on this one. What are your thoughts on Undermine?
Stop listening to me. Go download it. It's on PC. It's on Xbox, Game Pass, and if you need to pay the $20 for it, you fucking should.
I can agree. It's a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun I've had with an indie in a while. I was playing a little bit while some of y'all were doing your reviews.
Yep. It's definitely one that I am going to load back up frequently.
Yeah.
I'll never complete it, but I'm at least going to play the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to complete this one. There's 90 achievements in this one?
Maybe. And there are some RNG ones. Like there's one for getting the one of the popcorn.
Yeah, to pop 5 times in a row.
Yeah, and that's just entirely luck. I've been stuck at 80% because I got 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it just decides whether or not it's going to do it. Well, basically what popcorn does is it duplicates an item or gold, depending on what kind of popcorn you have. And so, it's couldn't say it to save myself. And so it's just random whether an item duplicates or not when you have the popcorn. Then you just have to hope that it does it 5 times.
No. All right, next game to talk about is called Liberated, developed by Atomic Wolf, published by Walkabout, released July 30th on Steam for $19.99. Enter an action-adventure game inside a living, hand-drawn comic book, uncover an alarmingly current cyberpunk reality where human rights are dying away. Take up arms and solve puzzles in a noir, rain-soaked city that's desperate for justice. Aki, tell us about Liberated.
Okay, in this, you play through comic books, literally. Each one is an issue. Each chapter is an issue of a comic book. There's 6 issues plus 2 DLC ones that are free. Yes, free. They're just free. Yeah, there's also a soundtrack that's free.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're good. It's good PR. And basically, you're playing as, I think they call him Billy. I didn't really remember because his name's irrelevant, because most of the time it's, hey, you. He happens to be a hacker, and all of them effectively are. They're kind of like a more physical group of Anonymous, and the entire country is taken over as a surveillance state by, ironically, Billy's dad. He's the guy who runs everything effectively at this point. And they keep track of what you post on social media. They keep track of you on cameras. They keep track of what you purchase. And they don't just keep track of like, oh, this is a dossier on this person. They determine whether you're a good person in society by all this stuff that you do. You're expected to do all this stuff. And if you don't do enough of it, you don't get enough citizenship points. And then if you don't, the cops come and get you. Yay.
Yay.
So the Liberated is a group that effectively wants to tear this crap down because that's insane. You have to buy what the government wants you to buy. You have to post everything to social media at all times, etc., etc. It's insane, and they know it, so they want to topple it and get more people to join their fight so they can really topple it. And the great thing about this is, since it's a comic book, it's all in black and white, and you're moving through the actual panes of the comic book even, which
That's
is really cool. Yeah. There's also some choices in the game, and quick time events as well, which I don't know what everyone's opinions are in quick time events. I usually find them meh. In this, sometimes I find them meh as well. The options, that when you get 2 options, sometimes they'll actually prevent you from seeing all the comic book pages. Like, it'll flip the page and all of it will be white because you just bypassed that entire section and they're just moving on to the next one. In each chapter, you can also get characters killed permanently. And then that chapter ends right there. That book ends and you move right to the next one. Whereas if you didn't fuck up, it continues. And that's usually done through QuickTime events, which sucks. But it is what it is. Because if you want to see the full thing, after you fucked up, you have to replay the entire thing again. You can't just go back to a prior area. Because all it does is auto-saves. Yeah, I did not like that when I found that out. But most of the game is just side-scrolling. You can climb up ladders, down ladders, blah, 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 and you shoot the shit out of things, or you strangle them to death to do it stealthily. That's pretty much it. The story is told in between the levels. Sometimes characters talk to you during it. Sometimes you hack things, which are typically just, this has 4 numbers. Click 4 random numbers and they'll tell you, hey, this is a number, it's where it's supposed to be, or this is a number, but it's not where it's supposed to be, or it's not one of the numbers. It's simple. Lots of games have used that as a hacking mini game before. So, I mean, there's not a lot to say about it because it is very narrative heavy, and I don't want to give it away because it's really cool story. The gameplay's pretty basic, but it's really fun.
Cool. So overall, $20. Your thoughts?
I think it's worth it because you get 6 chapters plus the 2 DLC ones, and each chapter will take you 40-ish minutes, maybe an hour. Yeah, they're not too bad. And that's if you don't fuck up.
Which you will.
Yeah, you're definitely going to fuck up. The quick time events, some of them are not particularly easy, which bums me out. But they're fun. I really enjoyed it. I just don't always enjoy the quick time events. They can kind of go blow a goat.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of quick time events either.
Yeah.
All right, well, next game to talk about is called Hellbound, developed by Cybot Studios, published by Nimble Giant Entertainment, released August 4th on Steam for $14.99. Classic first-person shooter-style game like the good old days, an action game focused on speed, gore, guns, and metal music, inspired by the 90s classics with modern visuals and audio. Cole, tell us about Hellbound.
Hey, did you like Doom?
Yes.
Did you like Wolfenstein?
Yes.
Did you like first-person shooters in the 90s?
Yes.
You're gonna like Hellbound. Buy it. Bye.
Yay.
That's not all I can say. I'm sorry. That is the long and short of it, but I do have to point out that I had one issue with the game, and that is that I wasn't able to use my controller with it. I don't know what the deal is. I've had this a couple times recently where my controller doesn't work with games. In the instance of Hellbound, I couldn't find anybody else saying they had tried to play it with a controller and it didn't work, but that was definitely where I was at. I even tried plugging it in before I launched the game, plugging it in after I launched the game. It wasn't happening. It was like keyboard or nothing, bitch, fuck off. Yes.
You got to start trying with different controllers than the Elite.
With the other one too, and it didn't. But it was primarily my Elite, and I did plug the other one in once, and it was like, nope. And I was like, okay, cool. So I do have to complain about that. That's an accessibility thing. Fucking hurts my hands to not be able to play with the controller, and I was sad about it because I wanted to have more guts and gore than I could manage, but the fatigue was just too strong. That's on me. My hands suck. But for what was there, for what I got to play, for the price that it is, I did have a good time playing Hellbound. It is just very much... I couldn't tell you the story if I fucking had to. Nobody cares about the story in a game like this. We're just like, excuse me, I'm here to shoot demons. That's all I'm asking for. Let me loose with some guns and some pew-pews, and I just want to see guts and gore and be content. And I was not at all disappointed with what was given to me there. I just wish my controller had worked.
Aside from the controller issue, any other negatives with the game, or is it just good shit?
No, I mean, you have to acknowledge that it is what it is when it's paying homage to the 90s games, and it does that very well, but, you know, it has some of those 90s feels for a $15 game that, you know, you're gonna kind of, you know, hit the wall and find it being difficult, and I would like to be more in depth on that, but because, like, when I ran into those issues, I was like, well, my hand hurts anyway, and I just quit playing, and I would go back to it later, and until I just managed to, my hands didn't hurt bad enough that I could do it. I think it's just the problem with it is that it's because it's a nostalgia-based game, and I don't have that nostalgia. Like, I can't, and I do in a way. I mean, I did play a lot of Doom and shit as a kid, but to me, like, the biggest thing is, where does it fit in the market? Because we have Doom remakes now, and there is new Doom, and so it's kind of hard to be like, go buy this Doom clone. But at the same time, it's only $15, and if you just don't get enough Doom in your life, then hey, there's Hellbound.
Nice. So $15. What do you think?
I'm okay giving it a buy it, given that it's priced what it is. It does it well. But I do want to definitely knock off points on the accessibility bar because hey. Give me my controller. Yeah.
All right. Next game to talk about is called Mystery Mine, developed by Lever Software, published by Bigway Games, released August 5th on Xbox One for $9.99. Dangerous monsters and bosses, arcane magic, and decisions on which many lives depend. Can you save the world? Our friend Serlina wrote in a review for this one. Let's see what she's got to say. She says, hey there, SML friends and fam. It's Serlina, and this week I'm reviewing Mystery Mine on the Xbox One. Mystery Mine is an 8-bit dungeon dive where you play as a little guy named Mbonga who is guided by a little ball of light called the Spirit, and together you must journey into the underworld to save your world. Let's jump into this review. Guys, I hate to say this, but this game is literally 2 steps away from being broken. I didn't want it to be like this. I wanted to like this game, but I can't. It's not well done at all. The first thing is the color scheme in the menu. It's blue on black on blue. Makes it very hard to see where the cursor is when selecting anything. I was trying to start a new game, the cursor went all wonky, and I couldn't tell where anything was. I was literally clicking every button and moving my sticks in every configuration to get the game to start. Incredibly annoying, and unfortunately, it doesn't get much better. You start the game in the cave and you must navigate it. The spirit shows you the basics in movement. You can jump and hold down the A button to further your jump. You can use X to attack. You can roll with the RB, and that helps you avoid damage from poisonous weeds and spikes. Those controls work very well. The climbing mechanic does not. Mabanga doesn't automatically grab onto the vines. You have to press the directional button and A to make him grab. That's awful, and many a time I fell to my death because I didn't grab the vine. Since this is a bit of a platformer, jumping to different vines is a thing you do often. Also, you get multiple weapons. You're supposed to be able to swap them out with the LB. That's cool, except once you access your inventory and choose a weapon, you can no longer swap them, which defeats the purpose. Graphics are alright, I suppose. It's 8-bit, so it's not going to look great, but that's one of the perks of the game for that nostalgia feeling. The story is passable, but I was pulled out of it several times due to numerous typos. It's a highly unacceptable amount of typos. I can only guess that the creators of this game do not speak English as their first language, which is completely fine. However, if you're going to release this in English, you should really get someone to look over syntax and spelling. The sentences are worded weirdly, and there's a typo in every other exchange. It was exhausting. My main problem with this game is the fact that the controls don't always work. I had to stop playing for a while to do other things. I paused the game, came back unpaused, and my character wouldn't move. He would jump, he would swing his weapon, but he wouldn't move. Restarted the game and everything was cool, but I shouldn't have to do that. I tested this again by letting the game idle and produced the same result several times. In addition to this, another few times when I paused the game and hit continue, it started me at the beginning of the level. That is awful, and I don't understand how the game was certified, to be quite frank. Players shouldn't have to jury-rig a game to play it. Mystery Mine is available right now on Xbox One for $9.99, and should you buy it in its current state, I have to deny it. The difficulty of starting the game is enough for me to deny it, but with everything else piled on, it would take a massive overhaul for it to be playable. I can't recommend it for easy achievement hunting. You wouldn't plunk a ridiculous amount of time onto it because it would be frustrating to do so. The juice is not worth the squeeze, unfortunately. That's a bummer to hear. I had my eye on that one.
Yeah, that sounded rough.
Yeah, hey, they can't all be winners.
It's true.
Yeah.
I will say in a lot of instances with indie games, though, especially the really small ones, they'll be community translated. And usually it's just someone who pipes up on Steam and is like, hey, I know the languages. Do you want me to translate this for you? And they kind of, just have to accept whatever they get there.
Yeah. I don't know. I figure Big Way Games, since they were publishing, would have taken a look at it and fixed up some of the issues. But I don't know if they didn't have time or if... Who knows what the issue is, but hopefully they patch it. If they release some patches and overhaul the game, we'll be happy to take another look at it, but it seems like right now it's just not worth the time.
Yeah.
One final game to talk about tonight is called Warriorb, developed and published by Not Yet, released August 7th on Xbox One for $12.99. Demons, giants, mutants, and a talking ball with hybrid limbs. In Warriorb, you play as a mighty demon trapped in an unlikely body. The path ahead is not an easy one. Will you do whatever it takes to regain your freedom? Paul, tell us about Warriorb.
So, Warriorb, the cutscenes of it are beautifully illustrated, but the game itself it's pretty enough for what it is. It wasn't. It's not the kind of art style that's gonna like shake your world up, but you're like, yeah, that looks like a 3D game. It's fine. But I was definitely far more interested in the 2D art in the story. Basically, what has happened is that a wizard has lost a child. So if that is a sensitive topic, you need to take that into consideration because that's your opening scene right there. And so after doing an incantation, they have summoned a demon soul in an orb, or what he perceives to be a demon. And you control that little orb. And you need to overcome some platforming puzzles to uncover who you really are, because of course you don't know anything. That's the way all games go these days. You're like, I'm a character and I know nothing. And you have to, uncover the story about who you are and why you're there and how you became a spirit trapped in an orb. And but basically you're doing puzzling, platforming with a little bit of combat thrown in for good measure. I'd love to rave about how good this game is, and I feel like I've compared everything to Undermine this week because I'm like, Undermine was great, and I wanted to spend all my time with Undermine, and then I played Warrior Orb, and it was fine. And that doesn't feel fair, but it was fine. You know, it's interesting enough, but it's not really a game that shook the world in any kind of way for me or kept drawing me back into where I was like, man, I can't wait to just play more of that. That feels rude. I don't mean it in a rude way, but it was just not, it wasn't for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, you know, puzzles and combat they're things I'm into and this should be fine. But I think one aspect of it, even though I played it on the story difficulty, and so it wasn't as hard, it was still a game that's meant to be kind of Dark Souls-y and meant to be difficult. And so it was kind of like, I don't know how I missed that going into it until it just flat out put it on the screen like, hey, yo, this is going to be hard. Suck it up and deal with it.
No.
And then I was like, well, if I'd known that, I might have been a little less inclined to play it in the first place, because I'm just not that kind of person who has the patience to go back and redo things over and over and over. It's funny I say that as somebody who plays roguelikes, but it feels more stifling in a game like Warrior or where I don't feel like I'm progressing, and I just feel like I'm trapped and I'm never going to see the rest of the game. I'm like, I'm going to sit here and let this boss just bash my head in forever because I'm not getting anywhere. That was how it played out more for me, and it was a little more frustrating, and just there just wasn't any wiggle room or room for error that I felt like I could get through it if I maybe just kept pushing. It was more like either you've got it or you don't. Checkpoints are, at least if you're playing on the easier difficulties, checkpoints are forgiving enough.
Yeah, it's nice that they have multiple difficulty levels, so if you're a bit worried about being a super hard game, at least they do have an easy mode to lessen the pain a little bit. Yeah,
I still don't feel like it took away the pain enough. And then that's okay, because I mean, the game tells you outright, hey, yeah, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
So either you know that or you don't going into it. And that was my own fault for not doing enough research. I was like, this looks lovely. It's puzzles. I can hack it. I couldn't hack it. I was an idiot. And that's okay. But I do give them credit. Like the gameplay, it bases itself off of the central hub world. So like, if you're dying and you're going back into there's shortcuts and stuff you don't have to go through. It's not, they went out of their way to make it as accessible as they could for the type of game it's intended to be. It's just that it's still too hard for me.
Well, then $13, what do you think of it?
I think it's a solid price point. I think the gameplay is there. I just don't think it appeals to everybody. And you know, I don't know. I've complained on this show before that games being difficult for the sake of being difficult is like my least favorite thing ever. So I'm a little more inclined to go with a try it, because you have to be the kind of person who knows that's the kind of gameplay you want.
Yeah, you got to be in for a hard experience.
Yeah, and if you're like me and you just stumbled onto it because you were distracted by the fact that it's kind of pretty, you're going to be in for a tough time.
All right. Well, that is it. We made it through all of them.
We did it. I didn't die. I feel like I'm about to die. Can I go die?
Yeah, you can go die. Do you have any final words? Or should we let Aki have final words?
Aki can have final words. I'm dead. Bye.
Aki, final words? Aki?
No, I don't have anything this time.
You're really quiet.
I don't have anything this time.
See, it helps when you have the microphone.
Aki, are you dead? Bye.
We're all dead. Fuck it. Show's over. Good night.
I'm so fed up with it.
Yeah, I can't think anymore.
Yeah, it's over. Fuck it. We're done. We're done. Show's over. Goodbye.